I'm Joshua Torres. I go to the Grapevine campus, and this is my somewhat long story of faith and depression over many, many years. That's the way I'd put it. Growing up, I started to notice about when I was maybe 13 or 15 or so that it was just tough to feel good. And a lot of other people seem to get pleasure from doing, good things, hanging out with friends and, learning things and doing things. And just for me, I didn't feel it. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I just kind of thought that was me. And so I would just kind of do my best and try to continue doing the things that I liked to do, but there wasn't a lot behind it, and it was so tough for me to get up and go. Like I just getting out of bed in the morning and staying awake in class and focusing on things was tough, and I just put up a little bit of a wall or a little bit of a blank, a face kind of the outside of being like, well, I don't care as much, and that's cool, and just trying to play it off, basically. But it was tough. It was really tough. And so that's what everybody thought of me, right? That I was kind of a laid back kind of person, and just, that's just him being him. And then over time, I got through high school and I graduated and did pretty well and got scholarships to go to school. Went to school and was in school and struggling significantly more now, and like really having trouble doing all the things that you would want to do to feel good, right? So connecting with people, staying active, eating right, getting enough sleep, or getting good sleep. It began to get worse over time. So I didn't know what was going on still. I didn't change. I didn't do anything about it. Junior year in college, I get home, and at this point, I'm at the total bottom. I can't put sentences together. I don't feel good at all. I'm constantly anxious and nervous. I can't connect with anybody. I can't remember anything. I'm just dead depressed. And all I want to do is sleep, basically. Up to this point, I'd always believed in God. I've always thought God cared about people. And so I just asked him. I said, hey, not an ultimatum, but I can't deal with this anymore. If I don't feel better, then I won't be here anymore. It's not because, I was angry, or I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it anymore. And, I was beginning to think about how I would no longer be here. And I asked him for that help, and I went home and I couldn't hide it anymore. There was no hiding it. So I told my family, like, I don't know what's going on. I feel terrible. I need help. And just that first day of saying that out loud was massive. It was gigantic. The weight off. still felt terrible, but the pressure was off. The the shame was less because other people were connecting with me and sharing that shame, I guess you could say. They were saying, we don't understand what's going on either, but, we'll help. And my family, for the first time in a long time, I actually had conversations with them about things that really mattered, and it just felt so good. Felt so good. I went and got help, counseling and talking to a therapist, and that helped a lot. I also started taking a medication for depression, and the change was dramatic, like dramatic. It was going from, just being stuck in myself and not feeling anything that's good, to being able to just feel something good without any effort. I remember one day after I was lying in the grass at my house, and it was a nicer day that day, and just looking up at the tree, there was wind blowing through it, and there was light coming through the leaves, and the sky was blue, and there were kids off in the distance, and the whole thing felt good without me doing anything. It just felt good. And it was the first time in my life that I remember, maybe since I was a little kid, just understanding what people talk about when they say, life is good. Nature is beautiful. Like, I had never really felt that at all in any way since I could remember. And just like tears on my face, like just so happy and so thankful for being pulled out of nothing, basically. And I gave God, all the praise for that, 100%. It was all Him, and I was extraordinarily thankful. But if I were going back to it and thinking to it, I would say that, God was distant, and now in my life, God was near. But there was still something that I was holding back just a little bit. I'm thinking of it like a partnership at the time. Like, oh yeah, God's awesome. He does incredible things. He, created everybody and created me and gave me help. But I'm still important too, right? There was something like a little bit on the side there that was in my thinking. And but anyways, I was doing much better. And I gave him the credit for that, and I tried to do as much good as I could with my life. But fast forward another decade or so, now I'm in my early 30s, and I noticed this slow but steady decline over time, right? So I'm, junior year, I'm feeling good and I'm incredibly thankful. And then over time, it just slowly drifts. And I can feel it and I can tell it. And I'm beginning to be, now I get more and more concerned. Every time it kind of slips down a little bit. And I'm doing everything in the book that you can do to feel good. I'm working out. I'm eating pristine. I'm getting as much sleep as you possibly can. I'm trying to reach out to friends. I'm talking to counselors. I'm trying different medications. Nothing. And it's helping. I don't want to say nothing. It's definitely helping, but the decline is steady. And So I get to another point. So I'm 33, and I've got, you know, I've got a great job. I've got good friends and good family, but I just feel awful. And it's almost the same feeling as when I was in college. And now this time I just said a different prayer. I said, God, if you want me to feel like this for the rest of my life, that's okay. I trust you, 100%. I'll do the best that I can, but the biggest thing would be that I trust you and not help anybody, be in my mom's basement, you know, as a 33-year-old, or pushing grocery carts, or anything. I'll do it, and I trust you. But I would really like to feel good. I would really like to feel human. And I'm continuing shortly after I said this prayer, and I received an extreme amount of peace from that. The weight was off, but I was still trying to feel good. So I was going to doctors to try to figure out what's going on. And I went to a doctor less than a week later, and he was not a specialist in sleep, but he just mentioned, hey, have you ever gotten your sleep checked out? And as soon as he said that, there was a clear voice that in my heart that that's it. And I went and got a sleep study as soon as I could, and it turned out I was not breathing like 40 times an hour or something along those lines. And I got a sleep apnea machine, and the rebound was quick. It was similar to when I was a kid. And, you know, I gave God all the credit for that. But for the most part, the thing that I'm most happy with is that I was finally pulled to Him. And it was no longer, hey, here's God, He's close, but, you know, I'm important too. It was whatever you want. You first. I'll go wherever you want me to go, and I'll listen wherever. Doesn't matter. I am yours. And the benefit of that in my life is just extraordinary. And just to think of at the bottom of both of those other times that I could be here, just, it doesn't seem real, honestly. And the thing that I've pulled out of it is that these things are incredible that God has put in my life, my family and my children, and the fact that I feel good, but they're the gift, they're not the source. And I'm near the source, and if the gifts change, that's okay. I'm never moving away from the source. But now that I have the machine, I feel significantly better. But I've tried over the years to try to reduce the amount of antidepressants that I use, and I don't use nearly as much anymore. I've cut it to a very small amount, but I've never been able to fully reduce it. I've never been able to fully get rid of it. And I honestly, I think that's okay. I don't mind. Um, I do all of the things that you should do in the book, and I still, you know, need it. I just do. And I hear a lot of people talk about, why wouldn't I do this or that? Why wouldn't, why would I use an antidepressant? I don't want it to be a crutch. My whole thinking on that is, what's wrong with crutches? If you have a broken leg, you should probably consider crutches. And I don't know why that I can't operate and feel good over many years without help, but I can't. And if I didn't do the right things, then I couldn't be there for my family. I couldn't be there for my friends. I couldn't be there for others in the church. That's more important to me than my pride or shame. And I really, I'm open to the idea that God would make it so I don't need to, but I'm not gonna demand that. And so I think one of the things that I would take out to other people, specifically men, would be, don't let the decline happen without telling someone. Because there's just a shame or a pride that we have, to say, okay, this level's down, but I can deal with this level. I got this. And then this level's down, and then, well, no, okay, I can deal with this. And it happens over such a long period of time that sometimes you don't even notice the change. But I would, as a first step, find someone that I respect and that I know cares about me, and I would just put the cards on the table. This is how I feel. This is what's going on. And I assure you that just doing that is an incredible benefit in your life and will open options available to you that you can't imagine. From my experience, I've been on the both sides of being incredibly capable and feeling really well and being able to do the things that I want to do and being able to help people and do all the things that other people look at and say, you're a good person. And then I've been on the other side of that where I have not been able to help anybody and I've not been able to do anything. And I'm the guy that doesn't get it or just is not trying enough or is apathetic. And because I've been on both sides of that, when I see other people that, someone would look at them and go, well, maybe they're just not, they don't get it, or they're not good enough, or they just need to pray a little more, or have more faith. Maybe they need to do those things, but that may or may not be the reason why they can't operate. And because of that, because I've seen both, it's just ingrained in me not to judge. To see that other person and really want to be there for them, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know, what's going on behind the scenes, and they're incredibly valuable. They're as valuable as the other person over here. And I just want to tell them that. I think of myself at the bottom, and I know I had value. and I think of myself at the top, and I know the value's still there. It's the same value. It's God in us.